Okay, it is 6:32. I will call the meeting to order. Welcome to the October 16th meeting of the District Needs and Budget Committee. My name is Sage Mason. I'm the chair of the committee. We are joined by Angel Mescane, the staff liaison to this committee. In order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules. No one may speak until granted the floor. CB11 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. To raise your hand through Zoom, click the participants icon and you will find the raise hand function there. Members should not engage in a back and forth discussion. The chair will recognize the next person to speak. Please keep your questions and comments brief and on topic to the discussion. Members of the public, if you have questions or comments about the subjects on the agenda, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. We will now take attendance by roll call.
Jessica Elliott.
Present.
David Giordano.
Be here shortly.
Sage Mason.
Present.
Derek Stampo.
Is Derek on the committee?
Oh, I haven't updated this. Janelle, teacher.
Present.
A quorum is, oh, that's previous. The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and was posted online. If there are no objections, we will adopt the agenda. Cool. Then tonight's meeting agenda is adopted. Adoption of the minutes from the last meeting. The minutes from our last meeting were distributed to the committee members ahead of time by the board office. If there is no objection, we will adopt the minutes from that meeting. Committee members, if you object to adopting those minutes, you may raise your hand to be recognized. Seeing no hands raised, the minutes from the last meeting will be adopted, and the minutes for tonight's meeting are being taken by me. Okay. Announcements, informational updates. So this is something I'm pretty excited about. I created this tool that I think is going to help us streamline the process going forward. And I pitched it a little bit at the district or the Youth and Education Committee meeting last night. I don't know if we can we share the screen on that?
Sure.
Okay. It's in the form of the folder for fiscal year 28 in the district needs Google Drive.
This one?
Yes. So this Google form, I'm hoping we can post a link to this on the board website. But basically it allows members of the public and CB11 members to input their name, their information, say what their connection is to the community, and then can we do a little demonstration? Thank you. And the mouse.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I need to click over the other tab so people can see it.
Thank you. No. So somebody from the public or any committee member, anybody who has an idea for a budget request would just go to this form. Oops. What away? Input their information. I'll say Sage Mason at gmail.com. I'm the CB11 member. And then the next prompts are categorized as they are on the budget requests. So I could say I have a youth and education and child and welfare request. In this category, sort of like the next subcategory. And then you would pick, whatever like request type you want to submit, assign more teaching staff, have this explanation, and this is what goes into the body of all of our budget requests. We need more teachers, submit, boom, it's there. And then, so right now, Asher, who's the chair of the Youth and Education Committee, hey, good, present. Yeah. I'm just demonstrating this like tool, and I think you got some emails about like just streamlining the submission process, and I mentioned this at the meeting last night or 2 nights ago. Yes. And so by submitting that form, Asher just got an email, Angel just got an email, and the District Needs and Budget Committee just got an email. And that email says that there is a pending budget request. It is the job of the committee to, at their next meeting, evaluate their request, decide if they want to accept it and add it to their request, and whether it's a capital request or an expense request. And it also says that you should accompany that request with like an action item.
Yep.
So like a letter or resolution.
Love it.
And all of that would be evaluated at the next committee meeting, and then the following month they would vote on, I guess, whatever deliverable was presented and whether to actually add that to the capital request. And it's as simple as, I don't want there. How can I get back to the Google Drive folder?
There.
Here. Okay. And then pending requests. It's right here. And then you just click accept. I think it's going to disappear. Yes. And then it pops over either into, that's an expense request. So now it's here as an expense request and it's ready. And some of the other tabs I have to figure out like what to do with. But it basically makes it so that anybody who's wondering like, how do I submit a request that I have? It just makes it a lot easier because right now,
There's no real way.
yeah, it's just like you have to kind of talk to the committee chair and hope that it is, added in some way. And committee chairs don't feel like a responsibility to continually add budget requests. And I'm hoping that if we just like keep telling people that this tool exists, that anybody who has like an idea for a need will like their first go-to, besides like just general advocacy, will be like submitting this kind of thing. And then each committee chair would ideally have it on their agenda. I think I thought every month, but last committee meeting we said maybe every 2 months.
Yeah.
Just review the requests and yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think there should be like some, like, first of all, I don't think everyone has an email. I think maybe a phone as an alternative could be helpful. And just like some disclaimer about like, CB11 may reach out to you for more information on this request and like just an acknowledgement that we will consider it, not that it will immediately show up on this list or because it may never show up on the list, right? It may be something that the committee decides not to move forward with for whatever reason. And I don't, just some reason for the community to understand that it's not just like you do this and then automatically it is what it is,
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
So anybody, any board member,
No, anybody.
any public,
Yes. And
but this is separate than what we put forward.
Right.
Well, it would go into the pending box, and then you can edit it if you think it needs to be edited, or you can reject it if you think like this is spam.
Yeah.
So there's like a check where the committee would evaluate it, but then once it is in its form that you want to make a request, then you just click accept and it goes into the request that we are like voting on tonight. What do you think?
I'm just being a little devil's advocate.
Yeah, me too.
Good.
And I don't know, maybe Angel can, no.
Say his baby.
Angel said he dug it.
Well,
I said I dig it.
I think what Jessica
Mhm.
kind of communicated was very well, right? That just because it's here doesn't mean it automatically becomes incorporated as part of an action or item and generally when people have those requests, they come and they give their little presentation or announcement, they want to present.
Mhm.
And I don't want us to lose that. I think, sometimes we can get so lost behind systems and technology. If somebody has, we want to sit with them. We want to hear what your issue is.
Mhm.
And I know some people come up with some crazy issues. That's why I said, Angel, I defer to him on some of them. But I just want to make sure that, and I think Jessica clarified it much more eloquently than I would have asked. That, again, the committee chair does create the agenda with the committee, and we are but so limited in the things we do, and I think as you can see, we have all this list of stuff, but how many people have actually went and testified as a committee? And these things are so important, this is where we need to do the action. Right? So, no, it's fine, go forward.
Yeah, I think it's a
Looks
great idea.
Yeah.
You just still have to see how it works.
Yeah, and I think what Jessica put is that people have to understand just putting something here, and then if you want to come and make a more formal presentation, we welcome you to the board. It should be included as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just on that point, add a little box to say, can the committee contact you
Yeah,
for, like, coming to, and if they, I give permission or whatever, so they,
would you be willing to come and meet with the
Yeah.
committee?
Mhm.
I almost feel like that's a precursor to putting anything on the list at all. It's like you have to be willing to be contacted because otherwise we may not understand what
Well,
it is.
maybe we have a discussion
Maybe
before
that's-
putting you on the meeting and then wasting that
maybe
time.
that's a good way to, like,
Right.
cut out the spam.
Right.
People don't tick that box, and
Right.
you know that's probably not a serious request,
Right.
potentially.
Yeah, but I also want like people who might not be comfortable proposing, like if you have an idea for something we should do and you feel like it's not covered, like I want this to be like a forum for idea generation. Yeah, right now it is, there's like the email that gets sent, or even just the submission form is like, we may contact you if you have any questions or follow up, and that's why we ask for the email in general. I think it is important. Some people don't use email, even some people on the board. And we'll see. Cool. So I'm proud of it. And I think it can be better, but I kind of want to start telling people about it and then continuing to get feedback on it.
Yeah, we should talk about it at executive.
Cool.
And so then how are you gonna get the word out to everybody?
Executive is going to be after full board. I'll mention it at full board. I don't know if I'm going to give like this kind of presentation. But then at executive, I'll probably do it again, get some feedback, try and, this is like minimal viable product. Next like iteration will be a little bit more organized and then start presenting in a more general, wide scale way.
Looks good.
Yeah, also, I would recognize this, that people do use the internet and email. Sometimes they just don't know how to navigate systems like this in terms of complaining. I know I have a challenge, at 60 degrees with some of this stuff. But I think that, don't always think that people don't have. They just may not have it utilized or access these things. And maybe that was like, again, would you like somebody else to contact you or, but yeah, good job.
Yeah, on that point, and then we can move on. I also just want, like, say somebody comes to a committee meeting and they just like raise their hand, they're like, this is something that I want. I want like the chairs to be able to be like, okay, what we do in this situation is like quickly fill out this form.
Yeah.
And now we are tracking that this is a request and we'll talk about it next month. Maybe have an action item there.
Maybe have paper forms right in the board office. I'm not,
No, I think that's great, but it's still probably going to be up to the chairs.
No, what I meant by that was, I can give you this to fill out here instead of going online here, do this, go there. Take this.
But then somebody would have to like digitize.
Input it, yeah, absolutely. Well, if you don't have people have access to emails or those things, and you want this information, somebody in this office is gonna have to fill it out, or the committee.
Yeah, I would do it, but I want,
I'm not trying to volunteer any of English staff to do any more work than they do.
Everybody has email.
Mhm.
Everybody has email. 2025, come on.
Yeah, it's hard to apply
Or
to be on the community board without an email. Though we want to be inviting for people with that.
We got a paper form, I'll give it to Dave. Dave, we put it up. Dave's really good at the internet.
Okay, let's move on to the discussion on district needs and budget requests. Have we all taken a look at this stuff? Okay. I thought it was gonna be a lot more complicated because I thought we were gonna have to rank. I didn't know that we had switched completely to just ranking them by
New
agency.
system Makes it a little easier.
I think a lot easier. Because all we have to do is decide when there are multiple committees ranking
Overlap.
to the same agency, which is pretty rare.
Yeah.
Should we go through each of the requests individually anyway? I don't know.
Let me just say a couple of things about how it's organized.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So the background and the change from how we had been doing it before, for whomever's online, whoever's, in the public, or whoever's gonna be my email, which is forgivable. David. For many years, for always, community boards have been submitting their budget requests prioritized by capital and expense budget, 1 through whatever number they have, 1 through 25, 1 through 50, or whatever. And community boards had been concerned, not just ours, that when a budget request was ranked really low, for example, like 50 something, but it's something they really cared about, they're concerned that perhaps, that request wasn't being taken as seriously. The fact is that the process at OMB and VCP, who manage this whole thing, is that once they receive the lists from the community boards, they split them up by agency anyway.
Right.
It's just that the form that we were using, the portal that we were using, had not been adjusted to be able to, that in order for community boards to submit by agency, we had to do the full list. And they've taken on a new portal on their end, which is a lot more flexible, and now they're able to finally do this for us, because it had been like a pending thing they were trying to figure out, and now they're able to do it. So like Sage was just saying, now it's a lot easier, and it matches not only with what community boards have been asking for forever across the whole city, but it's also super easy, right? Because if you, in terms of ranking, so like the ranking conversation really only comes down to if you have multiples for a given agency, right? So if on the capital budget, you only have one request, as we do here for DCLA, there's no conversation really. But if you have multiples like we do with DOT, there's 3, so there's conversation about 3 things versus talking about 1 through 50, right? So that's the change, and it's organized here first by capital and then by expense, and I shaded it just to, I guess, save my vision, or whoever has poor vision like me. So, each shaded thing, I hope I got it all right, is by agency. So DCLA, then DEP is light, and DOT and DSNY is light, et cetera, et cetera. So it's pretty self-explanatory. And then in that second to last column from the right are the rankings that each committee gave to those requests that they submitted. So DOT is the first example of where it really comes into play, and they rank them 1, 2, 3. They had one new, and they had 2 items from last year that they held over that they kept in the same order, but they also added a new, but added it behind the other 2. And you'll see further down the list, some of the committees kind of switched them around. Last night, Echo flipped some of the ones they had in a different order, but yeah, that's it. It's almost too easy, so people weren't believing me when I explained it yesterday. So I explained it again.
Is there it feels like it's a coincidence that housing has ranked this number 3 and public safety, and I'm looking at the DOT example, and public safety and transportation ranked their two requests to DOT numbers 1 and 2. Is that a coincidence, or you see what I'm looking at?
Yeah. So like there are two DOTs, one from housing, or two from housing, from public safety and one from housing.
Like,
Right.
did housing know that public safety? No, housing meant
Housing meant before public safety.
Right,
So,
and that was
public
based on
safety didn't
our,
offer any direct, response, so it was just line them behind it.
Mm.
So that could be a place where you guys might wanna discuss moving things around, but I don't see a reason.
no,
One of these I think we should remove, as we found out it received funding this week.
the comfort
Yeah,
station?
the comfort station. Which is first, I guess, third gray.
Mhm.
So just maybe to save the old man, we go agency and the number,
Oh, it was DPR 1.
okay. So install conversation and Harlem people bring it.
he went right to it that quick.
Yeah,
Thank you for-
it's easy that way.
Give
I'm
me
like,
direction and I
Oh,
was successful.
gotta be honest about your infirmities as you get older. It's just what it
Third
is.
gray wasn't helpful.
Pride is gone.
Okay, so let's look at where there are instances where there are conflicts between committees. I see no problem with housing ranking the requested DOT number 3 and public safety.
Yep, looks like they did our work for us, right?
Yeah. There is one potential conflict with EcoDev and public safety, where public safety has ranked this request on page 2, the leftmost column, 18. Public safety ranked at number 1, and EcoDev ranked these two requests to EDC numbers 1 and 2.
So can I have a question about 18?
Mhm.
The pier is funded, so I'm not sure what this request is really asking for. Accelerate the development of the pier that's funded? That's
I
not
think
a-
it's also about ferry service.
Okay,
And
it's a little confusingly worded, but okay, I see now, it is about ferry service.
as a member of public safety and transportation, and maybe the person who created this request, I can edit it to
Thank
make
you.
it better than that.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. Accelerators. Yeah, so it's asking like, do this faster, and also, can we have ferry service? They responded like, no ferry service. I think this should be DEC ranked 3rd.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we all
Any
agree?
objections? And I can edit the language just to make it better.
You can take out the accelerated
Yeah.
and redevelop restoration, just enable ferry service on the pier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Sage, I didn't hear which one you said it conflicted with.
It was ranked number 1 by public safety and transportation. I feel like
Or pretty easy as well.
mhm.
So 15 and 18 are technically ranked the same.
Yeah, though I was in the public safety meeting, and I feel like we definitely did not rank that number 1. Oh, because I was the only request to EDC.
That's why it's 1.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
Right, because it would be in there.
Oh my God, this is so much easier.
Mhm.
than it was last
You
year.
know, it also puts a little bit more value, I think, because I think like Angel said, like we would do all this work in our committee and then it ends up at 50, but it's like really important to us, but then get ranked with the rest of the board in the ranking. So this,
Yeah, and it
it
eliminates. like,
doesn't
the-
lose, you don't feel like you've lost some of your ranking or advocacy of what's important.
Yeah, and it's I was kind of hesitant to like accept this role because I'm like, oh, am I gonna have to like tell people that their stuff is not important
Right.
because we're like ranking it against things that the
They'll
city
still
doesn't
believe it
even-
though, don't let it
But like you care a lot about like the Lexington Academy renovations, and to say that that is like ranked lower than something like I don't know, like lighting for something that's going to go to like DOT, that's just like it's irrelevant to make
Right.
to sound like those things are conflicting when they're
And
not.
this still allows your value to stay within it. It's, we, we're still gonna get the same responses from the city.
Mhm.
You know, it's not like it's gonna change it. I don't necessarily think our ranking changes how they look at these projects.
Who knows? We do our work and they spit it out at us. Should we move on to the next one?
Yes. So HPD, so the next two after that most recent one, there is conflict. Oh, the next four actually.
I feel like it should be easy if we just have to choose which one is higher than the other one and which two is higher than the other two.
Yeah, exactly.
How about 1, 2, 3, 4?
You just go down.
I mean, that feels right based on the request for me, but open to y'all's thoughts.
Well, I would just say that, well,
So the first one is provide funding for the development of affordable rental and cooperative housing at deeper levels of affordability, targeting households living under 30% of AMI. That seems pretty important, and our number one need is affordable housing. Second is expand the home repair and preservation financing multifamily housing rehabilitation loan program. In East Harlem, the expansion of HRP will incentivize necessary building improvements while preserving and creating additional affordable housing units.
This would theoretically help with the buildings that have like the ground floor retail and empty
Stores,
apartments
yeah.
above.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's real important.
so it's interesting, because even when we look over here, they're in the kind of order of, on the other side, see, 1, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So maybe, as you say, keep 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're good.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, you know, again, I never want us to like overrule a committee, but it seems like this is already lined up between the both committees, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
As Jessica said, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I still want to, like have it on the record.
No, I'm saying this.
But
So
that,
what's the last one asking for? Provide 100% funding.
so the one before that is provide funding for the construction of affordable housing for seniors ages 62 and older. And then after that, provide 100% funding to the remaining tenant interim lease buildings located in East Harlem pertaining to the existing tenants and potential homeowners of less than 80% AMI, including but not limited to 102 East 98th Street and 2 East 127th Street. This will ensure that these renters become shareholders.
This one I know came back with heavy criticism from the agency. Yeah, and what no, I think
He's staying out of it, he said that.
I'd rather not say what I would like to say on this one
It
either.
is funded.
It is fine.
The issue is on the tenant side.
It is.
Yeah, it's not on the HPD side. HPD has already told us many times.
Right,
that
could
it's
I-
funded.
Yeah, and they say the agency will try to accommodate this issue with the existing resources. They support this position. Staff recommended keeping it. Committee recommended keeping it. So maybe they don't like it and there are issues.
Right, but it's.
It's one of those
thinks it's
things
important.
where the view of the committee is specific to, it's not necessarily it's not a wide enough view, I think.
But this is a funding exercise and the issue here is not a funding problem.
Right.
It's funded.
Right.
It's,
Accessing.
the issue with the TIL program at this point, now that HPD is committed to funding it, is that there has to be an agreement between the agency and the tenant association for the impacted building. And they're negotiating how they're gonna, whether or not the TA is gonna, the way that these conversions work is the TA has to vote to agree to go into the program and agree to the terms of the program, and that's where the conflict is.
What's the percentage that has to, like, oh, yes,
I think it's 80% of the TA.
80%.
That's where we currently are. HPD has messed this up in the past, so there's a lot of distrust, right?
With the TAs and.
Yeah, they just screwed it up like that. But right now, they're fully funded and they're raring to go, but there's that. It's in negotiations, or it should be.
Okay. Next conflict, nothing.
I'm sorry to say, so you guys agreed to 1, 2, 3, 4, like Jess said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it lines up.
Is
Okay.
52 supposed to be DOE? No, DOE.
An expense request?
Just going down the list to the next one that has a conflict. Which looks like what was previously item 52. Unless that's a different agency, yeah. It is.
This came from housing. Okay, what does DOF stand for?
Finance.
Mhm.
Which feels weird.
Yeah.
So that, second to last on my second page is a mistake, I should have just said one. Not bad,
Which one are you referring to?
the NYCHA one, should just use one.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, provide finding your enhanced outreach. Yeah, is this, okay, yeah, it's tax breaks, so I don't think that's a conflict, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. And I don't think there are any more conflicts.
Oh.
Yeah. I think
Geez,
we're good.
I thought we'd be it, but I was confused.
That's amazing.
No,
Magic.
how long did it take them to make this decision, change it, Joe?
Oh, that's a few years.
A few years.
It's a relief for me,
Yeah,
because
No,
at the end of it, I was always the bad guy, I'm like, shut up, I ranked it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, here they come.
Wow, this is actually amazing.
yeah.
You had to make a district manager decision.
Like way in the last day, I'm like, I'm just waiting for the phone to ring.
Okay, did human services and housing like work together or something? Because these requests are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but some come from housing, some come from human services. I'm just surprised.
What page you want to say?
These pages are numbered. This is
Which agency you talking about?
HRA, request for HRA. Starts at what was previously 36, 4 pages from the back.
Go ahead. We got you now.
I got it.
What numbers again, I'm sorry?
Starts at 36. So human services ranked the first request to HRA 1. Housing ranked the second request to HRA 2. Housing ranked the third request to HRA 3. Housing ranked the fourth request 4. Human services ranked the fifth request 5. I feel like there's like collusion.
No, that's a mistake of mine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So it's the same order that the numbers were from each committee.
Okay, so 1, 1,
Yeah,
2, 3, 2, 3,
Mhm.
4, 5.
okay.
You lost me.
So each committee's request is in order. So what was previously 36 is 1 for human services. What was previously 37 is 2 for human services. What was previously 39 is
Okay.
3 for human services. And I would say so this requires some
Yeah,
action on our part.
so it's like 1, 1,
Like 1, 1,
2, 3, 2, 3,
Mm.
4. Okay,
Okay,
so the conflicts are,
so 1, 1, so the first 2 on that page, right?
yeah, so we have to decide between the first 2, which one's more important, and then from there, we have to decide whether 16 and 37 on the next page are more important, and then 30 and 39. And then the 49 and 50 would just be the last ones.
Well, I think we have to decide all of them together because it's possible that what human services rank 3 is number 1. Yeah. Like what human services says is number 3 is like more important potentially than all of the housing requests.
True. Is that Malik?
Yeah, 'cause it don't allow unless you pull it.
Okay, well, yeah. I think 1 and 2 feel,
Do we want to read them?
do we have to read the whole thing?
I think for the record, in case Adem or Isaac is like, why is this not right? Hey, what's up, man?
Hello, how are you doing?
Welcome. Yeah. Let me say that you were here.
Do you have mandatory community service tonight?
Trying just a little bit.
We're just going through our budget requests right now. We have, the process is a little different. So we are no longer having to like rank every single request against each other. But we are in the middle of a probably minor conflict between some of the housing requests and the human services requests. I can read all 6 of, some of them are long.
I'll just look.
Mhm.
As long as they're not, youth and education or, I'm a little biased.
Mhm.
And parks and recreation, I'm good.
Put police items first.
There shouldn't be any conflicts with any of those though. Okay, so 36, what was previously 36, funding is urgently needed for domestic violence prevention and assistance programs. According to the NYPD, East Harlem has a violent crime rate of 10.3, nearly double the Manhattan and citywide averages of 5.5 and 5.3. I feel like those are out of like a per 100,000 residents, though I'm not sure. The New York City Mayor's Office to End Domestic and Gender-Based Violence reported that East Harlem has the highest rates of intimate partner violence in the city. Programs that can provide survivors with resources, support, and safety planning are critical. Additionally, funding is necessary for public health interventions that focus on prevention, education, and community-based outreach to reduce domestic violence in this community. Okay. Next one. Provide, expand, or enhance rental assistance programs. So this is about housing. That's
Right, isn't it 36 and 16, right?
No, 36 and then your one below it are both ranked 1. Oh, no, you're right. No, you're right.
I just read, yeah.
No, sorry.
I was trying to look at really what was the difference in ask, you know, as opposed, because they're both asking for domestic violence.
You're right.
yeah. So maybe should we?
So you.
I think we could combine those into one request.
Yeah, and then like, it really is one request, but could one request go to 2 different?
It's not the same request though, because one is asking just for housing to help displaced domestic violence survivors, and the other one's asking for actual services to help them move faster.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, keep them separate.
Okay. Yeah, both of those are. So this is kind of.
Yeah.
And we're not directly comparing those two.
No, but you know what, generally when they have domestic housing, there's services that come along with it, because that's why it's domestic shelters and housing. Like, you just don't go into domestic violence shelter and be left alone, because you're qualifying for a program.
Yeah.
So maybe you can rank the one with services as 1 and the one just housing as 2?
That's an option, but we could also rank one of them. Like, it's not necessarily the case that because housing ranked the same request 2, that it is relative to all of the human services requests, that it is 2 to those. Like the housing request could be 4.
You're not gonna please everybody in this age. You gotta make decisions.
Well, do we think that one of these requests is like more important than the other?
Services.
If you're having one combined with both, I would say that's more than the other.
Yeah,
Just housing.
I think servicing also includes prevention, which
Yeah.
is kind of a problem, right?
Yeah. So let's keep it.
So maybe if we just do that 1 and 2 and then look at back at what the other human services are and where it fits in. Because if they put it as 1, right, they still put it as a high ranking. That's their top ranking. So the other rankings would be 2 and 3. Like, I think we should keep it as 1.
Yeah.
They ranked it as 1, right? Housing ranked.
Well, housing ranked it as 2, yeah.
Right, but because housing had other priorities than this specific priority. So,
yeah. Let's take that into account.
yeah, we can get crazy here with this.
Yeah. Next one,
So it's 1 and 2, 36 and you?
For now, but we might
We
throw,
might shift if we
Yeah.
find
I
something.
think we can agree that that's his, but, because the other ones would be lower ranked than.
On human services, on
Right,
HRA.
well, I guess the only one that's a contender is number 37, could be real number 2, and what we just said was number 2 becomes number 3.
I'm fine with either way, after we get
okay,
the first.
Yeah, honestly, to Angel's point at the beginning, like, I think it would be safe to do any order, but probably best to stick it in line with what the committee's requesting.
so is 2, this new request, below 36?
Yeah.
That's going to be number 2?
Yeah, do we want that one or 37 is the question?
Oh.
LGBTQ specialized services in East Harlem.
What do you guys think?
I would keep the new as number 2,
I agree.
Okay.
General homelessness is,
and especially child homelessness.
Also, I think 37 maybe, and I need to read this one a little bit more in depth.
it's
because
to a
it might
different agency.
No, but we may have a conflict with ours is the DOE.
Yeah, but it's not a conflict because they're going to.
They're different agencies.
Yeah.
Okay, good, yeah.
Okay, so the housing request that was number 16, is that now number 3?
So that one was the housing committee's second request, and then the comparable request is 37.
Okay. So provide, 16, we already read that.
So then the housing doesn't have a number 2 now?
It does on the first page, the new request.
It's the new one.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are we deciding 16 versus 37? You want me to decide?
I mean, I personally think it could be 16 is 2, so 37 is 3.
Me too.
Should be, sorry.
Or-
We're gonna have 3 and then 4. Number are we on? Yes.
3.
So 3 stays 3 and 5 becomes 4, right?
Well, are we taking away then 4? Right, 30?
The city should increase funding for group representation of tenants.
That's housing's third request.
So that's housing not 30.
What do we think about that?
I'm fine.
That feels like a
Just
lower
shifting it.
priority, just because that's,
Well, we moved one over, right? Then we moved one of the housing ones over, so it drops down.
so I would put this number 5.
Yeah.
I would actually put that lower and put the 39.
6 higher, yeah,
Yeah,
migrants,
yeah.
yeah.
Because I think, because that's really, I mean,
It could go either way, honestly.
yeah,
It's hard
but
to
30
say.
is like not very specific.
I
I
mean,
feel like we're
you know,
not
it's
gonna get a
not
good
like-
answer for that.
It's not like in old days where when we change it, it drops so far.
Right.
So it's,
It's still
Right next to
equivalent,
it.
yeah, it's still pretty close.
Okay, yeah, we don't have to spend that much
I
time.
could go either way.
Right.
Let's say what was 39 is now 5, what was 30 is now 6.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Okay, so I got something wrong.
let's
There's
review.
two-
You know what mistake, it was my fault. So 16 is now what?
16 is now 3,
And 37 is now,
4,
and then 49 is
39.
49.
7 still.
Yeah,
Oh.
we didn't really get to that one.
Yeah, no, I wasn't looking at
You're
that.
ahead of us, Adrian.
So,
This kid's.
so it's these two then.
Okay, provide, so 49 and 50, I hadn't considered these in my calculations.
Yeah,
I would suggest 50 be 6 and the other one be 7.
Well, we are on,
it'll be 7 and 8.
yeah, 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
So 57 and 49 is 8.
That's my dyslexia. So I have very specific
Why-
dyslexia. 6 and
Why
8.
would you turn them around if the committee's already voted on 7 and 8?
Oh yeah, these are both from Human Services. So Human Services has said that,
Angel.
Well, let's read them out loud. 49, there's a growing number, and thank you Yeah, good catch. And that's your committee.
That's right, that's why I remember this one.
Ah.
49 is there's a growing number of East Harlem residents who are food insecure or lack basic access to healthy foods, to basic healthy foods. This has been exacerbated by the rising cost of groceries, delays in SNAP recipients receiving benefits, and the closure of supermarkets within the district. 13.5% of respondents to CB11's public input survey. That's a great reference right there. For district needs, identified access to healthy food and lifestyle programs as their most important healthcare and human services related issue. According to New York City Department of Health data, East Harlem has a 1:17 ratio of supermarkets to bodegas, the second lowest in Manhattan. Furthermore, according to East Harlem Community Health Profile, 18% of East Harlem residents do not eat at least one serving of fruit or vegetables per day, compared to 10% overall in Manhattan, and 30% drink at least one or more 12-ounce sugar drinks per day, compared to 16% overall in Manhattan. I'm guilty of that today.
Human
In
services.
the explanation, it should say specifically what's wanted, not just a category column. So all that's great, but it should say, provide
Yeah.
funding for.
What's the request?
It's the second column, so I think we just repeat that at the beginning of this.
Okay, provide, expand, or enhance food assistance program because
there is a growing number of, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Thank you, Randall.
And then before that, or after that, or other requests for services for vulnerable New Yorkers, provide funding to expand caseworker availability to meet the linguistic and cultural needs of the community, ensuring no resident is excluded due to language barriers. East Harlem's diverse population includes many residents who primarily speak Spanish or French Creole, necessitating an increase in multilingual caseworkers to address social services needs. According to the New York City Department of City Planning, 35% of East Harlem residents speak Spanish as their primary language, and a growing number speak French Creole. Culturally competent caseworkers are vital for helping residents access housing, healthcare, and employment services.
It's almost, we should also probably add Asian, as we have a
Yeah,
very
I agree with
Asian
that.
population,
Mhm.
particularly in Wagner and that
type of
area.
things, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They're doing Tai Chi in the morning in Wagner.
That's awesome. Should we add like Chinese Mandarin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't the first part of the first sentence just capture that all linguistic and cultural needs?
Yeah, but we
they
like
name
only
two,
reference.
specifically, I guess.
We could just say speak Spanish as their primary language, and a growing number speak French Creole and Chinese/Mandarin.
Yep, I think that's.
Should we say Cantonese and Mandarin?
Maybe I'm not sure.
Or dialects, Asian dialects.
I don't think we should say it.
No.
I think. I don't know. What's the politically correct way?
Google it. We'll say what Google says.
Okay.
Well, there's so many, and that's the.
I know. When I was in Hong Kong, it was,
Maybe you should say something like not limited to.
right, yeah, not limited, that's great. Keep it. We're diverse.
Where would we have the not limited to?
So speak Spanish primarily, growing numbers speak, I don't know, something like various languages such as French Creole, or not limited to French, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but somewhere there.
All right. What's in my head is that feels more important to me than what we currently have ranked 6, which is housing's request. The city should increase funding for group representation of tenants because of how vague that is.
Now we disagree.
What did you say?
I said, now we disagree. I think the group representation is super important because that's what's going to fight against displacement, which is like one of our top concerns.
Okay. I just think the request is vague, and I don't know.
So group
we do about it.
representation,
Mhm.
that's like funding for organizations like Legal Aid Society and those kinds of organized buildings and.
Okay, I was gonna think that it had to do with like funding of the creation of tenants organizations.
No, it's for like legal services
Okay.
for tenancy.
Maybe we should specify that, because I thought this one was usage.
Group legal representation of tenants.
I was also looking at social workers, caseworkers, in that capacity of services, not just individuals. And that's why I kind of thought about getting an Asian population that's strong, because, you know, similar to Creole.
Mhm.
Gotta be very sensitive to not leave out, because,
Yes, agreed.
you know, because in all actuality, the Latin speaking population has gone down in this community as other groups have gone up.
Mhm. Yeah.
When I first came here 20 years ago, it was about 60%.
Yeah, well, that might just be like a natural product of like second generation immigrants not speaking.
Oh, yes, I am speaking.
Okay, so we're gonna keep the group representation 6, and then these 49 and 50 are 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other conflicts? No.
No.
Okay,
Sorry about that myself.
No, please.
I'm glad we discussed it. Maybe you can have a motion to.
Sorry, before we go there,
Mhm.
just one thing, like, I don't think I saw it, but there was one capital request from the Human Services,
That's at the beginning.
which it just sticks out because we never capital request, but I don't see it on this list. About, funding for boxes to dump needles.
Would that be with housing though?
It
Which
was,
Human Services, right?
it was from the Human Services Committee. I can't remember.
What was the ask exactly?
So, to provide like safe areas for people to dump needles that are like for people that are using it for, you know, diabetes or pets or whatever it is in places like outside of hospitals or parks or something. Like,
Maybe that's more an expense than necessarily capital.
Yeah, I don't see that on the.
Would
On
be,
the
would that be an
capital
expense? Because they're not really,
It depends on the cost, but I don't see it submitted at all.
it's definitely on there.
I see provide funding for a dedicated team of to regularly monitor and clean the perimeter.
Oh, sorry, I see it. It's provide
Is it
24-hour
embedded in
public
something else?
access for safe and legal syringe needle drop-offs.
Okay, that's as an expense.
Okay.
right, that's
So-
an expense,
Okay, I
not
see.
capital.
I think we had originally thought it would be capital and then meeting. Okay, sorry.
Okay. And it's listed as a Department of Mental Health and Mental Hygiene. Is that right?
DOH,
Yeah.
yeah. It's Department of Health and Mental
Mental.
Hygiene.
Or is it hygiene and mental health? And so that doesn't conflict with anything else. So we just accepted the committee's ranking of.
Yeah, okay.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, I'll entertain
You
your
guys ready?
motion.
I'll just make it comprehensive to address everything we talked about. Just give me a minute. Motion to approve the capital and expense budget requests and rankings.
Hold on. Let me write this down.
I can't say it twice, so don't ask me to.
I gotta find my minutes.
Go to the video.
Dot. Including,
Just moves to what is it? Accept the. Mhm.
to approve the capital and expense budget requests and rankings with the following adjustments.
And rankings.
Do we have to list all of it?
I'm gonna list them for posterity. One, you don't think I need to list it?
Because we
Just,
haven't already.
just to prioritize with the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
We're not even with the removal of the one we said is funded.
Maybe just clarify that.
Okay.
With the exception of the removal of capital budget request number 1 for Department of Parks and Recreation. for a new comfort station at the Harlem River Greenway,
As this is.
as this was committed for funding on October, what is it? 14th.
Uh, As funding was committed. Okay. Cool. Do we need a second for that? Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Nay. Unanimously passed.
Just a quick question, you said that they approved,
Yeah. At
in the
the,
budget?
at the groundbreaking that no one was invited to on Tuesday, it was announced that
They would create a
the
conversation.
funding has been
Nice.
approved
Mhm.
for the comfort station.
But they're gonna do it where?
At the siting that was proposed in the Harlem Greenway
On the
future
127th
district.
Street?
It's not far, yeah.
Okay.
No, they didn't say conversation, they just said bathrooms.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say comfort station anymore. We should change our language to bathroom everywhere.
Okay.
Okay, is there a reason?
I think it has connotations to like,
Okay, yeah, I understand.
don't ask me.
Well, we removed it, so. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the narrative. Does anybody, so I've compiled everything I've received from all the committees. I still have to edit the public safety transportation portion. Did you say sanitation?
Did I?
Oh, I thought you like said sanitation under, quietly.
Oh, no. I don't know what I said under my breath, sorry.
Okay.
I probably said it's okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and Michelle, who's the chair of that committee, said it was fine if I edited it as I saw fit, as long as it was in the spirit of what she wrote. So I'll do that probably tonight, maybe tomorrow. And then I had a couple comments
I
in
saw it,
there.
thank you.
Yeah, just about,
I accept your comment.
okay. And yeah,
I have a comment on yours.
please.
Is Patsy's Pizzeria really Italian? I thought it was Albanian.
Well, it's currently Albanian, but you know, pizza's from Italy.
Pizza's from Italy.
It was Italian until
They've
the
had
90s.
different owners over the years.
Mhm.
It's an institution.
I added that stuff. I don't know if it's appropriate to like specifically reference.
I know, I'm just kidding. I think,
I could easily take that out. I know you're kind of kidding, but like I was debating whether to do that.
I think we could remove it.
Okay, let's do that.
It's the last sentence of the first page.
The whole sentence.
The legacy of Italian Harlem today survives through our remaining residents of Italian descent, traditions like the Giglio Society of East Harlem's annual festival, and establishments such as Patsy's Pizzeria and Rayo's. Okay.
None of us did it.
I also think it's just a little questionable, I think, to have someone's specific business name who is serving on the board.
Okay. And traditions like the Giglio Society, or do you only want to get rid of Patsy's? I've never had the
I think
opportunity
you
to eat at
just
Rayo's.
put a period after festival and call it a day.
Okay. And I'm going to add an and traditions like the Giglio Festival.
Okay, great.
We don't have to get that specific, though.
Then remove that comment too.
Done.
Definitely generic. Be generic,
Mm-hmm.
politically correct.
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments to the overview?
Okay, second highest concentration of public housing, great.
Especially if there are like instances where the tone could be better, just let me know.
The last paragraph is a bit of a dump, but
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
didn't.
important to list important things. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wanted to do that so that somebody who just like kind of quickly looks at this,
Yeah, they know what the,
yeah, knows what's going on, because I've been in an office where we've done that, and like you read kind of the overview and then you don't really get into the details.
yeah, stop after the first page, yeah.
But if there's any kind of big project that I'm missing, like I feel like I've added stuff that I've only learned about in the last couple days. So if
As you've been researching.
yeah, as I've been writing this. So if anyone feels like something's missing, like now is the time to mention it.
I would just change around the city of yes, to change it to city of yes, citywide
Like housing.
zoning text amendment.
Okay. So, yeah, because we're not rezoning.
But yeah, it looks like some citations have to be added, which is totally cool.
Mhm.
Thank you for fixing all the font problems.
That was the easiest thing, and Angel did some of that as well, I think.
It's gonna be more of
Oh, yeah.
that. You worked really hard, so I'm not gonna be nitpicky. After you're finished, then I'm gonna nitpicky.
I mean, you can be Nick.
No, it's just,
He's the editor at the end.
no, you guys, it's really good work, and then the end was just, cosmetic nonsense.
Okay.
I'm not gonna touch text. No criticism there at all.
Well, it's just even interesting reading it with Bill here too, like, the East Harlem Center, which we were building originally, it was a Jewish community center that brought immigrants in and kind of settled there to help get them into the community.
Mhm.
We took it over in 53
Mhm.
and opened it. I think you heard some of the story I talked about. Were you on the other one, right?
Yeah, I listened to the
Yeah. But just, this is how this neighborhood, part of the other reason all these immigrants came here, it's the only place they can afford it.
Yeah, and we want to maintain that culture of this being an affordable place for people. And it's interesting that people talk about how like NYCHA, there are so many problems with it. When NYCHA was created, it was kind of, those developments were built, it was like state of the art. And everybody was like, oh, it's great that we have like so much affordable housing in this place, even though thousands of residents were displaced in order to make space for it. Now it's just become this interesting thing where like there is this concentration of poverty because people who are living in NYCHA often are not making rent. That's like why they're there. And so there's like this tension between like that's kind of the root of why East Harlem is affordable. And some people feel that like NYCHA has all of these problems, but if we got rid of that, then there's nothing like stopping this neighborhood from just becoming like Williamsburg or something.
I'll send you some stuff. I mean, I don't want to dive into the rest of everything, but I have a little map that has all the NYCHA facilities and it's calm. It's like,
Yeah, it's great.
Just one cleanup point, I guess, I don't know what page this is, but under housing, there's like the most important issue. Oh no, affordable housing preservation, and then there's condition of public housing, and both still, give us the definitions of PACT and RAD. So I don't know if this will ever be read as a single portion, but we probably don't need to over-explain it.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's a yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's
I
worth
tell you,
nitpicking it.
but I took a little opposite thought when I read it, because that was the committee I was working with it again.
Yeah.
And I thought it helped me explain for people who hear terms but don't really know them. I mean, for us even on the board, right? We don't really know what.
We just did it twice.
Okay.
Like the page before it did the same thing.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that was like a style thing that I was thinking out
Yeah.
throughout, because all the committees did their own thing.
Right.
Like usually when you're writing like an academic article, like you only like
One.
you do it once, then you use like an acronym. This like I want to condense it, but also like maybe somebody is only going to
Right.
quickly flip to the
Maybe
public
work,
housing section.
yeah.
You know, not read the other.
Yeah, and they're just like, what's RAD packed like?
Right, see, that's the.
Yeah.
And if you do that.
Okay, I think it's fine as is.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, not everything has to be perfect.
Does it?
I wanted to, I have very high standards,
Over there.
but when it comes to, like acronym stuff, I care less about that. I do care about like statistics being correct and as up to date as
Absolutely.
possible. So there are a couple, I think a lot of my comments are like, do we have something from, more recent than like 2021? I think 2021 is because it's based off of the 2020 census and we don't have a new one.
Well, they also do things in like 5-year blocks or 10-year blocks. So like the Citizens Committee on Children do a very good citywide demographics and neighborhoods, but they do it every 5 years. I think the city does theirs every 10 years, so again, you're only going, unless you really find a private person or institution that has done that particular research.
So shouldn't we, if they do it every 5 years, we should have data from 2024 for the CCC. Okay, I can update all that if I have your guys' permission.
Yeah, don't kill yourself over it though.
Well, I want to do it.
I know,
I like that.
thank you.
Then be obsessive.
Yeah, as long as.
That's why you're the owner of this document as the chair, and I think we all agree you're gonna do a great job, so.
I appreciate that.
And as chairs, we all know that often committees cannot always do their homework and get up to a meeting.
I think every committee, I'm happy that everybody submitted something. And then everybody was pretty responsive. And people who weren't were very willing to, let me like
Accommodate their change.
Yeah, and they're just like, if you need to change it, that's okay. Though I will have to send it to them. I think Eco Dev, I wanted to make some changes to, and Jose was accommodating to that. Isaac said it was cool if I just like update more recent data on some of these things and conform to like which statistics we're using. And Michelle said it's fine to change public safety.
No, I know I gave it them something in 2021, to 6.2, so yeah.
Can I say just this bold stuff, anything, or is that just?
That's how Isaac submitted it.
Okay.
And he was explicit, like, make it verbatim. I don't.
I love Isaac.
You don't like anybody touching the stuff.
No, I understand that. But I don't know if you can like make it bold.
I did it. We're not gonna bold the whole thing.
Okay. Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for
so
coming.
much.
Mhm.
Good luck. Thank you.
Students.
One student. And I think her older sister.
That's the next district manager.
That's not,
Mm.
who bag is that? That's our.
Oh,
That's the cleaning lady.
Okay. Ooh, good eye.
Good question. End of quality of life, first paragraph.
Quantity.
The first paragraph says, the end it just says as powerfully as crime statistics or new housing starts.
I noticed that. I wanted to switch that to stats.
Okay.
Though I wasn't sure, like, what was I referring to? So I think in like a markup, I just got rid of that and I just haven't gotten back to it yet.
Okay. I just didn't know that the sentence didn't get finished.
And I feel like there's one more thing I was thinking about. I don't know, maybe it'll come to me. I wanted to get rid of, this came up in public safety the other day, like references to the term like nodding out when people are like on drugs in the street. I feel like I'm not supposed to.
No, you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, so I use that.
You're
term.
not supposed to what?
You're not supposed to say
Say
nodding out.
I mean,
What are you
That's
supposed to
what
say?
say what?
Nodding out, like people who
Well,
are.
how would you
on-
refer to it? Person is standing.
Well, no. That's how I would refer to it.
yeah, with
but-
respect and human dignity, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, people who are publicly under the influence of, serious narcotics.
Sometimes, you gotta be direct.
Oh,
I don't even think nodding out is like that direct way to.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's like a slang term, sort of.
Yeah, no slang in our.
I'll be,
Probably under the influence.
Yeah, but I don't want people to think that's just like drunk people in the street. Side of people publicly influence of narcotics.
There you go.
Okay. How do we want to like treat this? Do we want to make a motion on this to, I don't know, accept this as is pending changes I'm gonna make, or is that like not a valid, action?
That's more of a you guys ask. If you guys are, because what you're doing with the motion is you guys are agreeing that that's the way you want to move forward. So if that's what you agree, then that's fine.
Motion to, yeah.
To accept the statement of district needs with changes that have been made.
And minor edits forthcoming by the chair of district needs a budget committee. For tone and clarity.
Let's start writing shit. Let's start writing. The way she had.
Jessica,
Roll the
I
tape.
think-
I go back to the tape.
I think David made the motion.
oh, yeah.
It isn't David.
Is it David?
David won and Jessica too.
Moves to
Unless you want a
approve.
second.
Can you restate it? I'm sorry to make you do that. Approve the.
He forgot.
restate.
Motion to approve the statement of district needs and changes made and edits.
Yeah, forthcoming edits by the chair
For
Of the
of district needs and budgets
committee.
for tone and clarity.
So
And
seeing
then
as it's a joint
Angel
motion,
for.
tone, clarity.
We can't run as co-chairs, but we can make joint motions.
Tone, clarity, and like updated statistics.
You don't have to get all that. You're making edits and changes.
Be vague, say less.
Okay, say less.
Not after you done said all of that, you gonna say last.
Okay, and you seconded it?
Yeah. Unless, do you want a second? It's fine, you can second it.
I usually don't make.
People love.
motions. Right, I usually don't wanna make a motion, but just let's go. It's
Okay.
made. Second, we gotta vote.
And all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Cool, motion carries. Approved.
All right, we're a small committee.
Thank God.
Easier to make one.
Mhm. Okay, and I think the last thing is just like feedback on working with the committees on budget requests and narratives. How do people feel about that process?
I would say this, I hope that you accepted that our priority sometimes didn't get you some of the stuff as quick, but we were working on it, so.
Okay.
Just, I value your eagerness to work on this and get this done in a very professional way.
Mhm.
Now it's feedback on you.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like,
No, because again, I think, right now, even for myself, I got caught up with RFPs for the next 6 years, like things just, and we prioritize them, and I wish I could have got you everything sooner as we reviewed them together.
I
That
think,
was the latest, I think.
I don't know if that's true. But I don't, it's perfectly fine. I'm just trying to get you guys to, I'm just
I'm
applying.
a procrastinator, so I work at everything, whatever prioritizes most, this is not due to them, then it's the day to get, and that doesn't always work for anybody else. But I've been enjoying working with you on this.
Yeah, it's been a, pleasure working with all of you guys. I'm really grateful for the help. I wasn't sure if
I'm sorry.
if I would have any help. No, I mean, I thought you were gonna do, well, first when before I became the chair, I thought that I was gonna do a lot more sooner than I actually did. So same.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't even know if you guys are gonna help because, you guys kind of volunteered, which I'm grateful for. And did so much of this. But at first I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to write this whole thing.
Well, one of the things I think is an advantage, you have people that sit on this committee, mainly who are chairs and vice chairs, they're your workers on your committee. As you will learn, and I think, this nice small committee, but you can sit here with a large committee, 2 people are working and doing the real work while everybody's throwing a wrench.
Mhm.
So.
I will say that I think it's the same problem as it was last year, in that, we in this committee are, doing our best to herd heard the chairs and the rest of the board, and I think, we've had conversations, but I think it's, all of last year's effort, I didn't feel like we really made that much of a strong movement in the right direction, but I do think that there are committees who are doing a really great job, maybe we can just continue to lift up as good examples, like the Health and Human Services Committee. Really, this isn't gonna be a success ever unless it's like with your form that we talked about at the beginning of the meeting, something that's being discussed continually throughout the year. And really that we leave the cycle in June with a clear path forward for each committee so that it's not a jumble in September. But I don't know how to.
And I think it's hard that we all get this stuff at the end of the year. And we don't necessarily meet and review this stuff. And then we come back in September and we hit, like, boom, get this work done. Then you have a lot of new members.
They designed it.
What is this stuff?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's tough coming in with no information, and then first real meeting you have is like, bam, go and do all of this. Like, that's great, understand the projects that have already been happening, things like that. So I think, like, starting earlier is what everyone is saying, but like getting particularly the new members or new members of each committee up to speed before that first meeting somehow.
Yeah.
And you, like, for an example, youth and education has so many new members. So you have people who are trying to learn, well, what is this? Like, and then questioning and trying to understand. And it's like, I think as much as we try to help clarify the other or define for people, both the process and certain things, that could have made the meeting much longer and less Khalid help us move forward. And, Russell did too. Russell kind of said, look, we gotta have faith in the process of the members that have been here.
Yeah.
And allow them to do the work and sit up here and kind of go through everything and then question, well, why haven't we tried this? Or why haven't we done that? This is not the place to do that.
In a perfect world, sorry.
No, God.
In a perfect world, I think that like the existing board members are the role models that the new board members can like latch onto during this process, but I think we're not even there yet. We need to make sure even existing board members are aware of and able to participate in the process so that other people can come on. But Russell's point about trusting the process and the committees, I think is a great idealistic view of how this should work.
Yeah, I get it.
I brought this up in parks and recreation. The basis that I think we need to go back to, or start rather, doing it in May. If you start in May, I know this particular committee really doesn't get on to anything until September. The real work is from September to November, but having other committees, you getting on other committees about it, although the budget comes out in July. If we have those meetings in May and June, obviously you said June, but May and June will help the tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we can preliminarily have most of or some of the stuff kind of aligned, not knowing what is coming out. And then once it's out, we can, sometimes we meet in July, but it just depends on the committee if they want to meet in July.
Mm-hmm. What, just a question on that. What work would you suggest we do in May and June?
Well, put it out there for the committees to actually start the process of the work. Look at what you did last year, what was approved or what was not, and start the process then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing you created helps. I'm sorry.
Yeah, would we know what is approved by May?
So yes, so like your form, what Malik is saying, what Jessica's saying, the idea of this has to be all year. But you need the committees and whomever's on them to be committed to this process. Because the fact of the matter is that this is the whole ballgame. Period. So we're here to serve the neighborhood. Something's wrong in the neighborhood. We're gonna bring attention to it. We're gonna make an ask on how to address the issues in the neighborhood. That's the whole conversation. The rest of it is a lot of, right? So that should be right at the front of every committee's mind. So we submit this, right, on Halloween. Then between November 1st and January 1st, there's nothing going on. The 15th of January, we get the preliminary budget. We get the initial response from the agencies, from the administration to our request. We have it in January. It isn't July, it's January. And then we get another response at the executive budget thing in April, and then we get the final one in June. If you compare them, the answers very rarely change. So if they tell you maybe in January, it's very likely it's going to be maybe in April, and then it'll be maybe at the end. Now, what that affords you is an opportunity in January when you're responding to the preliminary budget to engage with the agencies. If committees are establishing relationships with the agencies throughout the year, right? So like public safety, for example, has a rep from DOT every month come to their meeting. Every month. They should be, his name is Raphael. They should be speaking to Raphael every month. Like, hey, you know what? We have this request and we're asking for this particular thing. Is this something you guys can do? Is this the kind of thing that you do or you don't or whatever? And you're learning as you go along. Human Services also has a rep from the health department come periodically, right? And have those conversations as you're going along to refine your request, right? To better target your request. And that improves your chances of aligning with what the priorities of the administration are, or them aligning with your priorities so that that thing gets funded. But if our exercise every year, which has been the fact that no one does anything until September 1st, then you're way behind. If you're talking about it throughout the year as much as you can, throughout the meeting session as much as you can, right? Engaging with the agencies. Like I think I heard Malik say, you've done most of your work. So the adopted budget is issued, you have your final answer for that year. Then immediately reach out to have your district consultations, right? So then you reach out and you either set up a meeting with the Parks Department or you send the Parks Department a list of questions, right? And Parks will respond, right? Steve Simon gets back to you, that's the Bible, you know that's the answer, right? Like you know that's the answer. So ideally you want to meet in person or on a Zoom so you can kind of go back and forth. But even if it's submitting a list of questions that you get a response to, you're in a much better place come September than what happens with many committees where they're like, I want that. And I want that too. My friend got this, so I want that. And then the requests really don't have any heft, don't have any, like they're not worded correctly, they're not targeted correctly. And that then breeds frustration because members are like, we talked about that for half an hour last year. I really like that, but it just doesn't make, it's not a budget request. So then the agency is like, man, the Youth and Education Committee got the same exact answer to every request.
That's crazy.
Right? Now, what should have happened, right? And the lesson we have to take away now is when we get the preliminary and you get that same answer again, immediately get on with DOE. Not with Dr. Christie, she's amazing, but she's not making budget decisions. With DOE Central, somebody at budget, try to get one of them in, and then try in the summer to get a consultation in so that you can actually get answers. Well, I think the answer was, reach out to the agency or something. Right. Well, that you have to reach out. If that's what, DOE is saying, or that agency or the other agency is saying, why haven't we reached out? And we don't. And then we come to September and we're like, this agency sucks. I'm like, but you kind of didn't call. They might suck, but you got to call them. You got at least, you can at least say, we tried to call this agency repeatedly and they never answered. That's one thing versus, oh yeah. And, I'm like, Angel, how's this funded? I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, you got to talk to them, So that's what has to happen all year. That's what I think we have to do.
Yeah.
And I know that each time I explain this, like, some members will be like, oh my God, it's a lot of work. I'm like, it isn't if you're doing it throughout the year, because you're doing pieces as opposed to the whole thing in September. And the thing about the new members, if you have all your work done or most of your work done. Come September, hey, new member, this is what we've been working on,
Review this.
right? In advance of the meeting, so they can at least see what the list is. They're not at like, what's a budget request, I don't know. I don't think much of the borough president's onboarding of new members. So,
Yeah.
because I feel bad for new members that are like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
You know, whatever training they're doing is not good. The members should be provided something, so when they're coming in, like we take it easy on our new members by not appointing them to committees in the spring. Like, take your time, get a feel, and then we put them in September. So we're trying to do a nice thing, but we're kind of putting them in a corner. So like, kind of like, which one do you do? And then if you say, let's do a July meeting, then the rest of the membership gets upset.
Yeah.
But it's kind of what needs to happen, right? You know, I take issue with people on the board that say we don't want to meet in the summer because everybody's going away. I'm like, it's East Harlem, everybody's broke. We're not going to the south of France as 50 people.
I'm not allowed.
I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, there's some of you might, you know, I'm like, awesome, but not most. And if it can't be a meeting, if it can't be a Zoom, then a list of questions. It works. I forget how many years ago it was. Michelle something or other from DOE came and met with the youth and education, and she was amazed. She took the whole list. Yes, Dave. No. Yes.
Right.
Blah blah. And then there was nothing else for him to do. Same thing with Steve Simon. Steve Simon will take forever, but when he's finally in the room, he did all your work for you. I'm like, can we do this? Yes, I have half of this. I need $25 more. But the other committees have to establish those kinds of relationships so that they have the possibility of getting that kind of feedback, right? It's what other boards do. And Dave, you've been here a long time. You've heard me saying the same exact thing for a long time. And when I said that, you know, it's just kind of bounces off members' heads. Malik, I think they're starting to listen because he's repeating back what I've been saying, which is great.
And
So
he's here.
so that's one. So we're making progress. But I think that's what has to be done. And again, I'll end with saying, it'll be a lot easier than, you know, just dumping a whole bunch of
Well,
stuff.
just to ask you a question on that,
Yes.
is that for the system, so as CB11 system, is that onus on district needs, the committee?
That was gonna be my question.
Or is it individually, I mean, clearly, I know that, but is it individually on the committees? Because one, they probably need a push.
Yeah.
And then two, because, you know, all of our minds are doing this, that, and the third. And then two, it takes time, and if this committee don't have as much work in the beginning, can they start the process of helping us out to push us?
So I think, so there's different ways to approach this committee, right? So like right now with 4 people, I would say you set the vision, you lay out the groundwork, and then you push.
Mhm.
Or the other vision was have it all be vice chairs, and then all the work is done here because all the committees are
They go
represented.
back.
That was a good idea that never got off the ground. So
Well,
we're
we saw
at,
it.
so
We was
we're,
here the
no,
first-
it didn't happen.
Why?
That's why we don't do it anymore.
With the vice?
Yeah, because people didn't show up. So we're here,
Oh,
and this
I
is,
had to show up, so I was
this is a
here.
good group. So I think set the vision, make the push, keep making the push, and you know, grab the chairs in a headlock and be like, this is what you have to do. And then like, you know, the nuclear option, if you ask me, is come September, you haven't done your work, I'm not putting your stuff in. Just even if it's a, you know, fake threat, just to motivate them to do the bloody thing.
You mean you're not?
So-
putting that stuff? No, we're not. putting
Right
that
now-
Oh, no, last year I told them, I'm like, I'm not putting it in.
Yeah.
I'm like, it will be empty. And then they're like, F you, Angel, rah, 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 rah. And then they did it, and then we happened.
As a comment, or as a friendly,
See, say.
as a friendly ask, say,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
more so friendly, that in February, once things come out in January, February, that a push be, you know, comes to the committee, something, a statement, you know, you'll have a chance to speak, you know, during the full board, whenever, if you're still with us. Well, I mean, as
I know,
The chair.
which is fine.
I'd like to remain the chair of this committee.
yeah, so I definitely would like a push, me personally, as far as being vice chair, I think that pushing us in February to start the process and like, we might not get everything done, but we can tackle 1 or 2 things per month.
I got a
I
question.
feel like that.
I'm sorry, I would say November 1st, push them. And then January 15th, when preliminary budget comes out,
That's when
push them.
this group has to really.
Yeah, so November 1st, get on it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
then
also-
and then January 15th, the preliminary comes out, and that's a good push, because then the committees can consider if they want to do, if they want to testify, if they want to, add stuff to the response.
Because the budget hearings, it's time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy to, or I don't mind pushing people. And I totally agree. I think this should be a year-long process. I think as soon as, I guess November first push, but also when the preliminary budget comes out. And I'm like excited to go and
I'm just being-
testify at hearings and stuff.
I'm being realistic, because, November is holiday, people, and we just got it done.
South of France, I know.
I'm just telling you, I'm being
That's
All
realistic.
summer.
those frequent flyer miles.
Those 2 holidays is, Thanksgiving and Christmas, people is a little bit more calm,
Start
but
taking
then,
people
I need a little
January.
clarification on what Angel kind of indicated earlier. So it's my understanding I'm on this committee because I'm the vice chair.
No.
Are you
No,
saying that now?
That's
No,
over.
I don't know.
I didn't choose this by choice.
No, that was killed by the members a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's why we lost the other members.
Yeah, that's it.
And I was still under the option,
You can go.
I've never been the
We
vice
voted
chair.
down,
Yeah, that's right, it didn't work.
Mhm.
But it could work in the future.
Unfortunately, it didn't work.
that's why I
But
thought I was
ideally,
on,
it's not, it wasn't
I
a
thought I
bad.
was on this committee. And
Oh.
remember, I thought I was on this committee, and I was like, they like, no, you on youth and education. I'm like, I'm back there? I'm like, now I did get an email, but I'm not saying I did.
I know.
I didn't see the email. I need y'all to call me. Y'all know I need y'all, I need a,
Don't give me the
You-
technology stuff, bro.
No,
You're like
Malik, you
25 years old.
no,
I'll
I'm
put it
good.
on Instagram for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm there.
Go do a CB11M.
That's why I'm at. I'm there. I'm there.
Do like a promotional advertisement.
Yes, I'm there. I'm
On this
definitely.
block, Malik, read this.
Okay, I feel like we're done here.
Yep.
Old business, I don't have any. New business, I don't have anybody.
Just one quick announcement, because it kind of occurred with me with youth and education and I haven't been there. We are having the groundbreaking for the Children's Aid East Harlem Center on Monday at 9:30. 7
That's
years in
really
the making, but it is finally coming through, so just wanted again to announce that, all the welcome part.
What?
You're gonna say about the park.
No,
No,
you can say about the park.
Okay, good.
I was gonna say about, forgot to make an announcement at the beginning of the meeting, which is on October 28th. We're doing a Urban Land Institute event, which I'm the co-chair of the DEI committee. And we have every year we're doing this equitable development summit. This year the focus is on housing, and Angel is one of our esteemed panelists.
Oh.
I'm glad y'all still have
Yeah.
the,
Oh, they tried to take it away.
oh,
yeah, well, change the name, you didn't have to change the name.
It almost changed, but we revolted.
It is amazing how many CBOs,
Uh,
I just wanted to add a thing if I could. Oh, okay.
Well, what time is the children's aid?
9:30.
You don't care about my event? It's at 8:30 in the morning.
It's at 8:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said it was gonna be in the evening. It's easier for me to make it, it's at 8:30 in the morning.
Is my panel 8:30 in the morning?
No, you're networking with other panelists at 8:30.
I know, I'm not the people.
Yeah.
Your thing is like an all day thing?
No, it's 8:30 to 11.
you said October 28th?
Yeah.
No, I won't be here.
So where you gonna be?
Homecoming, it's homecoming season.
So I just wanted to say very quickly, if I could, Sage, just as an encouragement, that this past week, they did a poor job promoting it, but there was a groundbreaking, or whatever the hell it was, for the new Link Park at 127
I was there.
thing, right? Yeah, you were there. That is a result of advocacy from this body for a long time. When Malik's dad was here chairing, we were pursuing that, like for real, right?
Yeah.
And certainly when Francis was here. So that's a long time ask, it was pie in the sky.
Yep.
And it's happening, and soon we're gonna have a park there, so like, there are results.
Was Russell there?
I didn't
Yes, he
know.
was,
Yeah, he said somebody asked him, do you know Mr. Toussaint?
I asked him that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. 'cause
He
I
didn't
was-
say who asked.
Uh-huh.
We all know Mr. Toussaint from sitting in his
For
table.
real?
I was reading,
He was an amazing guy when I first came on the board.
I was reading something from 2010, and it was like, we want this to be named after him.
Yep.
And I was talking to people there, and they were like, we know about that.
Yeah, they better now.
Yeah.
No.
They're not gonna do it, but they better know it.
Mhm.
Great
That's-
job,
that's what we
guys.
really should-
Y'all didn't keep Angel as long as we did, but
No. Roll call.
General,
Present, nice to meet
Thank
you.
you. Donald.
President.
Sage Mason.
my
Present.
boy.
Janelle Sativa.
Present.
Thank you.
He's
Very efficient.
It was good. I love that.